much better experience.
That's true. Let them come in.
Huh?
Let them get in the room first.
Yeah. Well, I like talking. I wonder how I guess, I don't know how many people watch this shit when, it's not live. You know what I'm saying? Just a weird deal.
Okay.
I think what we'll do today, homie, is talk about American-made knives. We got anybody in here? Attaboy. Now, what we won't do. So, listen, everybody coming in. Robert, what's going on, man? Here's what we'll do. I got, you know what? It's kind of cool because I got all American-made stuff right here. And we'll just kind of discuss it. It's 2 o'clock, by the way.
That's true.
So we've got the 3V Sailors, Trenchy, Arizona. What's up, Cash? Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. We're going to talk about some American-made knives today. I happen to have a bunch of them. Last Chance, what's up, brother? Good seeing you, Ken. Glad you're here. So here's what we'll do today, guys. We will just discuss some American-made knives. And I'm glad Ken, Last Chance Knives, is in the room because he is a damn good knife maker himself. No, they're not work took gear. Joe, what's up? So this is one that's made by Combative Edge. It's called the Sailors. Now, I don't know how much experience you guys have with Combative Edge. They're really good dudes. And I am drawing an absolute blank on the dude's name that owns it. Good guy. He's on Instagram. They're a little different because they do like security and all that stuff all over the world. And I don't want to kind of speak out of turn, but they're more into that kind of thing than they are to making knives. Rob is his name. Really good dude, security type dude. And when I say that, upper end guy. But they make a pretty good deal. Mark, come on in. Kent, good seeing you. Arizona, love you, brother. Glad you're here.
Happy New Year to you, Dracula.
Huh?
Saying Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Shane, say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So there's the Sailors by Combative Edge. That's a little different. Then we got William Collins, who's way different. This is the Sainer Scout. Was made for Trinity Sainer. Here you go. If you want to hold that one, I'll pull some of these. And the least expensive, probably, of what I've shown, this one. What the hell is this thing? Joe, help me out. The E400 from Colonial Knives. This thing is actually feels really, really good in hand. I like this a lot. It's 154 cm. This one's AEB-L, which I love this steel. It's one of my favorite steels. And then I'll show y'all a couple more. We got a Survive Knives. We always got to throw a Survive in there. Big shout out to JR for sending this one to me. I love this. Here's what's crazy, and this is why I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Here's the thing with Survive Knives. This dude had the knife world. He had a chance to make a real impact. And he made an impact, all right. He screwed the pooch, man. The crazy thing with Guy and with Survive Knives is they make a phenomenal knife. Now, some people will want you to lie and say they didn't. They did. Shit for running a business. And that's not talking bad. It's not being ugly. The guy could not run a business for whatever reason. And JR and I were talking about this the other day. You had a guy who had a chance to really, really, really impact the knife community, the knife world, take it over, or take it by storm, however you want to put it. Maybe not take it over. And he just screwed the pooch with shitty business dealing. And we see that a lot. We see that a lot. Man, I'm glad you did. I've been doing that and about shit on myself. AJ, come on in. Robert, come on in. Name farted. That's always a good thing. Glad he's here. So here's the deal. Battle Horse Blades, somebody that's established. Survive Knives, somebody that screwed the pooch. Colonial Knives, a company that's been around since 1926. William Collins Knives. When William's gone, they're gone. He's a guy that goes to Blackie Thomas's gathering. I've talked to William extensively. I love William's work. I've got several of his knives thanks to some really, really good folks. But William has gotten to a point where when he passes, the company passes. Instead of selling out or selling anything like that, it'll die. And that's a shame, because William is not only a great knife maker, he's an innovator. He does a lot of the compound grinds where he marries, say, like a Scandi to a Saber, and he just does he thinks outside the box. A lot of guys are ride and die. So you've got a lot of variants here. Combative edge is more of a tactical thing. And then another one that I'll just throw out there that'll represent, this is from Matusa. Now, the guy's name's Brandon, right? And this thing, I got to clean it up, man. I've cut everything under the sun and it's starting to rust out. My point to y'all is this. We always talk about American knives, American knives, American knives, and I love American knives. Demeter, what's up, buddy? Jack. So here's the thing. This guy just makes knives because he loves them. Now, he calls it Matusa, M-I-T-U-S-A. Made in the USA. It's easy to figure out. So we got a little bit of everything right here. And then hardcore hammers. We're going to do that this weekend. My point to y'all is this. We talk so much about American made and we want American made. And here we've got a full spectrum. We've got folks that are in business for a long time. We've got some very specific, I would call these, what do you call these guys? I can't think of the name. Like boutique makers, Battle Horse. They were Blind Horse. It was Battle Horse and LT Wright together was Blind Horse. So the thing is, right now, guys, we got a lot of good knives. The thing, though, is this, and I think my point is this. As much as I love American made, I really do, you can go budget, you can go expensive, you can make your own. And this to me kind of personifies the whole point of this. I think I'm going to make a knife this year. I'm not going to make a knife to sell it. I have zero desire to do that. I want to make a knife to kind of get a little better insight on how to make one. I'll probably get with somebody, a knife maker, and just kind of get together. You're not going to learn to make a knife in a week. You're not going to learn to make a knife in a weekend. But I would like to start the process. I don't want to sell knives. I don't want to design knives, but I do want to keep this up. I want to keep this tradition up. And guys, I think it's important when we see these little knife makers, they're not going to be, this knife is nowhere near as polished. And this is the best example of a good finished polished knife. That's Elkhorn. It's 01 tool steel. But there's just something about this one, right? And we need to keep that up. We need to keep that innovation up. Now, Battle Horse, God, that feels good. That's real elk. That's 01 tool steel. Battle Horse does a great job with consistency. One of the big complaints that I hear when we start talking about American this, American that, is a lot of times we feel like American makers kind of shit the bed. You know, you get what you get, right? And hear me out. We bought so much into the slogan of Buy American. If we're not careful, we'll just take whatever they throw at us, right? See, this is what, a $300-400 knife? This one's $100. Both are semi-production, semi-custom. I'm not here to get a free knife. I'm not here to run it down. I'm not here to be fair. But what I'm saying to you is this. If we're going to shout Buy American, I am wholeheartedly for it. But we need to start shouting about quality too. And not just taking a knife. If you get an American-made knife, see, it was different with Ontario, right? You get an Ontario knife, it's American-made. None of them were much over 100 if they were, but a lot of them were that $50, $60, $70 range. You always had to redo the handles. You always had to redo the thing. My thing to you is this. That's cool. Ken says, I have a video series on making. I need to check that out. I've been wanting to do that. Here's my point, though, guys. Here's my point. We need to start holding American knife makers to task, right? I don't mind spending money on American made. I really don't. But I'm not going to spend hard-earned money on a shit product just because it was made here. People can get mad at that all you want. As a guy who literally makes himself handle a knife every single day, it would be wrong and it would be disingenuous to sit here and tell you guys that, oh my God, I cut stuff every single day. I do, but I make myself do it. Otherwise, you use a knife, 3, 4, or 5 times, 4 days a week? And you might use it a lot one day, but my point to you is, after holding all these knives, after using these knives, after making myself use these knives, there are some quality differences. There really are. 2025 is going to be a different year for CHOIRBOYZ Outdoors. I'm working on some things I'm going to take this month to kind of get together my thoughts and what I want to do. But some of it's going to be start holding people to task when it comes to making and price point. I just kind of wanted to cover some things. I hope you guys have had a great new year. I love y'all. We got to get back in there to it. Meet us here tomorrow. We'll do another one. What's my thoughts on kids dressing up? None. I don't have any. I'm a knife channel. I don't get into that shit. So listen, love y'all. We gonna go, JR. I got it carried today. Been honing it up a little bit. Listen, y'all put your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you think. Is it time to start holding some of these guys? And I don't mean getting on them. I don't mean bashing their products. I don't mean doing any of that. But I'm saying if we're going to spend $200 to $400 on a fixed blade or a folder, shouldn't we get what we pay for? I think we should. I'm Scab.
I'm Shane.
You're not. And we gone, son. Love y'all.